Hey everyone, it's John back from Red Viking Hobbies. Today we are doing the TRX4m and the TRX4m High Trail Edition unboxing. So let's get to it. Okay, so the TRX4m and M High Trail Edition from Traxxas are 1/18 scale crawlers. The difference only being the fact that the High Trail Edition is a little bit taller and a little bit longer than the original. And I should say that they give you some cool looking diff covers. Got the silver diff covers on there. They do look pretty neat. Otherwise, as far as the cars go, they're pretty much similar, except for the fact that you get running headlights in the TRX4m High Trail Edition, and instead you get the little fog lamps on the original TRX4m. I can't speak to the non-Bronco bodies, the Defenders, as far as their headlights go. I'd have to take a look. I imagine they would do the same thing. Maybe not though, because I saw that there's a Bronco light kit. There's a Bronco scale light kit, but I did not see the same thing for the Defender. The Bronco comes in a bunch of different colors here. We got red, white, orange, blue, black, and Area 51. As always, pictures will be popping up in front of you to show you that. And then the High Trail Edition comes in black, red, and blue. And it also comes, this is the K10, and it also comes in the forward body style. Gets a USA 1 tag on there for its license plate. Did they put the license plate? Let's see, they do that on the Bronco. The Bronco doesn't get a license plate. It gets one on the back that says Traxxas. I'll tell you right off the bat that when I pulled this thing out of the box, man, they are beautiful. I mean, this one's already been run. This one is not. You guys just saw me pull it out of the box. It is an absolutely beautiful looking body, but similar to other RC companies like Charisma, the bodies look beautiful, but this one looks like it's easier to scratch and actually doesn't look like it's made as well as the Bronco body is. I'm gonna show you that in just a second. We might as well do it now. They're both clipless, and so all you have to do is pull the clips here and the body comes off. Now you'll notice there's going to be your connection for the wires on a High Trail. If you do the same thing with the Bronco here, there'll be no wires on the inside. It is wired directly to the ESC because the lights are inside of the bumper. And so that's why I'd mentioned that there's a light kit, because you would add the light kit to here and then you would plug it into your ESC to light the whole thing up. That's called, I think it's called the Pro Scale Kit. In any case, if we look at the inside of this, pictures to come, you'll see how these clips work. You'll also notice that inside this body, and it is a nice body. I don't want to call anything like a hard body that truly isn't, but it's close. It's really nice. And they decided to go without the bracing on it that they put inside the Bronco. The Bronco body has a lot more bracing that's done inside there. It's actually more similar to the one that's on the bench behind me. Forgive the dirt in there, but now you know why I picked that color. Let's put this back. So to make this easier, I'm going to focus on one car. I'm going to focus on the High Trail Edition and not the original, because the High Trail not only came out after, but it has the differences, and so you'll just know. So let's just go and do it that way. So the Traxxas High Trail Edition, this guy here, has a longer frame rail than the original TRX4m. So from here to here, the distance is greater. They give you these chrome rims, chrome differentials that I mentioned before. They both have a 45 45-degree steering angle. I was about to say 45%. And then it's got new larger Mickey Thompson Baja Pro XS tires that are on there. I just showed you the rims. Except this is about 35% taller when it comes to the actual truck in comparison to the original. They're both straight axle vehicles. They're not portal axle, although there is a portal axle kit that's out there for these guys. Let me give you a side-by-side comparison so you can see right there. That should be pretty easy. And then, of course, that means that the linkage is going to be longer in the High Trail Edition than it is in the original, which also means that the drive shaft is going to be a little bit longer. Be careful buying parts for High Trail Edition like links. That's a really good example. It'll say high clearance links. And in your head, you might get that high clearance links means it's for the High Trail Edition. It's not. It's for high clearance links for the TRX4m, the original. You would have to look for TRX4m High Trail high clearance links to give this even more clearance that it already has. So I mentioned the clipless body and the detail. Both cars come with a 750 milliamp 20C battery. You have pictures popping up as I'm saying that. On the charger for the battery that it comes with, this guy, when it's blinking crazy, it means that it's all good. So in other words, when you see these lights alternating red and green, it is charging correctly. When they are both solid, it is charged. If you see some other pattern, for instance, you see just a red or a red blinking, then you're in ready or you're in error mode, but you're not charging. So it is a 2S LiPo, 20C continuous dump, 40C potential dump on there. Moving over to the goodies on the car. ESC is really cool. It's called the ECM 2.5 ID. It has the easy set button that we've come to know from Traxxas. Now, when you plug it in, that's what powers it on. And when you unplug it, that's what powers it off. This, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. And I'll tell you the reason is because if I'm going to be like walking a distance and I'm going to have it on, I don't want the battery draining down. And I also don't want to forget. So I like the idea of having a button to turn it on. But at the same time, if I harken back to so many other cars, that's the way that those cars were. You plug them in. Like, so Axial Wraith Spawn, the first iteration had an on-off switch. The next one that came out, it was plug and go. And so many cars were like that. That was just the first one that popped in my head. As far as the servo goes, you can see the servo is mounted sideways. I don't know the kilograms on this servo. And I'm going to kick myself because I don't think I'm going to be able to guess either. I want to guess that it's a 4 kilogram servo. You know what? I got to find out. Okay, so that was a little bit harder to find out than I thought. I called Traxxas and they don't have it listed. The best that the guy could do is find information that said it was at 6.4 volts, that it was 32 ounces of torque, and the speed was at 0.2. 180, Titan is a 180 sized motor, 87 turn, probably reverse rotation. Yes, of course, reverse rotation, because Traxxas, man, the dirt from just running this outside is like everywhere. And of course, it has the lights that are in front that we mentioned about it. Both vehicles are straight axles. Like I said, no portal axles going on there. And there is room for more lights on the vehicle in the ESC that we talked about. Let's see. We talked about the motor. Yeah, so if you were to compare this to other vehicles, because it's reverse rotation, your motor is facing this way on your TRX4m, and then the first drive shaft that comes forward comes down, obviously, away from the transmission. The reason that they do that is because it's a better balance. And so if you take a look at the balance in this vehicle, it's pretty cool. So if we take a look, we got ESC, we got battery, we got motor, and then servo. That's pretty even distribution going all the way across. Although there is a mount for the battery to remove it there and to change where you put it. As you know, there are, a million different accessories for these. Disclaimer, before I do this, I did have some of these before the last video. So. Pro scale lighting for the Bronco. Tires, tire foams, metal axles. We got flex blades, we got brass, we got more brass, we got high clearance links. We have the FOC motor coming, rims for the Red Cat 18. This is a mixture between the two, Red Cat 18 and the Traxxas. Skid plates and wheels that come with tires and different size motors. Let's go. Inside the box, in addition to getting the manual, you get a little toolkit here that'll help you take on and off the tires and has the Allen wrenches you need. And then you get a TQ transmitter. On that TQ transmitter, you're going to see that there's only one dial, and that dial is for your steering, and that's it. It does not come with batteries, so it is going to need 4 AA batteries. I don't think Traxxas has changed this controller in I don't know how many years. When it comes to doing any kind of steering one-handed, you have really great access right there. Great for one-handed steering. Your on-off switch is right here on the back, and it's actually not an LED here. When you flip this, it'll go green because there's a little sticker that they put in there. But there will be a light that turns on over here so that you know that you're under power. And then that's when you'll plug your battery in here. Here they are in comparison to an SCX24. So if you wanted to just get an idea from 24 scale to 18 scale, this being the longest of the 24th scales from the SCX24 category, you could see going up to the high trails, you have a significant difference right there. I really didn't want to do like a comparison with the Red Cat 18 because there's many people that can't get the Red Cat 18 overseas. And not that they can't get it, it's that the distribution isn't there like it is for Traxxas. And so I would feel bad about that, doing that comparison. But I will do a comparison video on that car. But the High Trails body has it hands down. The body alone makes, if you're between those two vehicles, and not FMS. FMS does a nice job with their bodies, and they do a really nice job with their packaging. FMS, though, isn't going to have as many upgrades as what you're going to have with Traxxas. Okay, so quick story about the timing of this video and why you didn't get it just a little bit sooner. I mentioned this video doing the TRX4m High Trail Edition in my Red Cat 18 video. It's a video right before this. But then I decided, you know what, let me go pick up a standard size TRX4m so that if I'm talking about the High Trail, you can really see what the difference is. One of the first things that I got to say is it doesn't mean that when you get a TRX4m that it won't be a better performer than the M High Trail just because it's taller. That is not a real thing. The mods that you put on these vehicles, they change all those dynamics. And so it's not as if you can actually say, if I get the High Trail, for certain, I'm going to be better off and it's going to be a better climber. you could certainly make this a better climber than this. It's all based on the individual and what upgrades you're going to use. But here's why you got the video a little bit late. So we had the eclipse, okay? For those of you that don't know, April 8th, 2024, and I think most people know, was this eclipse that was going across the United States. And it just so happens to be, I'm in the totality of the eclipse. Now, what does that mean for you? Well, not much, except for the fact that I love to take photographs. And I'm going to put a couple photographs up as I'm talking. So I decide, okay, I'm gonna run this vehicle the morning of the eclipse because it's the only time that I have. So I do the running of the vehicles. And I had promised in my Red Cat 18 video that I would do the same things for the TRX4m High Trail as I did with the Red Cat, but my landscapers came and they did the work that needed to be done with the dirt that you see me climbing on, and all of a sudden everything got moved. And so to be able to mimic that video, couldn't do it. But things get even a little crazier. So we have the eclipse, I get these beautiful photos, and it was overcast all day, and they're talking about rain and storms and everything else like that. So I get to taking a couple pictures of the TRX4m, and then because we were at an eclipse party, the day just disappeared on me. The next day, we have a storm, not just a regular storm. The storm comes through, and then it does some of this. You could see it took out half of a tree on me. It actually took our trampoline, which was fastened very well in the ground, and it's this oversized trampoline. And it throws it. It goes up 5 feet. I literally say, when I see the wind kicking up, I go, let's go. And I tell the boys, we got to go. And like to the safest spot in our house, the trampoline goes flying by. It's like 5 feet off the ground. It's, instead of being this way, it's got an angle going this way. It slams into the side of the house and then keeps going. We don't even know where because we're going to hide because we think there's a tornado happening. In any case, I had damage in multiple places. Water came into my windows and things like that. So I'm just now, the day after that, getting to this video. So if I'm a little distracted in the video, I apologize. So things have been a little bit busy. Let's talk about the performance of the vehicle while we watch the thing run. I'll tell you what, it's a good looking rig. I really like the Traxxas TRX4m series. They are really good looking trucks. Here you can see I'm having body issues. Anytime you're not running a tuck to body, you gotta get those wheels out there somehow. Some guys will go and disc the body completely. Other guys will extend the wheels out, change the tires, and that's legitimate. That's what I'm going to be doing myself. One of the reasons in my video that I specifically said about it doesn't matter if you get the High Trail or you get the original TRX4m, you know, it doesn't mean that one is better than the other as a climber, is because if you take a look at the guys that are really doing the climbing, just like a mountain climber, they try to get as close to the object they're crawling against, and so those vehicles are low slung. A great example would be the new Vanquish Stance, right? Or the Axial, what's it called? The Pro 2 kit or whatever it is. These are vehicles that are lower and they get their tires hitting the obstacles first. The High Trail editions are cool because they look like the trail trucks, the 1/10 scale that we have. But to get these guys to work, we got to get the wheels outside a little bit. And for all of these 18 scales that I've encountered, even the 6x, weight is important. It just is. It's something that we can't avoid. We need a little bit more power and a smoother motor. This guy did better than the Red Cat 18 did with power right here on the pea gravel. I think that probably has to do with the balance as well. I showed in my video about how well balanced this truck is when it comes to, you know, servo placement, motor placement, the drivetrain, the battery, the ESC, pretty even. It has a really good turning radius on it. I heard someone, you know, say something about the turning radius. Maybe on the regular TRX4m, I'd have to put them side by side. This had a good turning radius on it. When I was going up against obstacles, it wasn't bad. It wasn't something like that I noticed. And it was quick. You know, the thing had plenty of power. It's just a good looking truck. Now, I'm going up this wood, right? This wood is in no particular design. This is not a crawler course. This is literally just a pile of wood that I've tossed the truck on, and it has just moved. It wasn't even as good as it was for the last video for the Red Cat to climb on. However, same problem. Not enough weight, you know, and you are, you know, in the end going to be deciding where you're going to put the weight in the vehicle. But even like here, right? Okay. So the rear tires, they are getting traction in certain areas throughout this whole video segment, which isn't very long. It's like it's like, 10 minutes. But right here, like I should be able to just give it a little bit of gas and the thing should start like a low and slow crawl. The tires are on the wood. They're touching. I go and I remove this here and yeah, we're able to get it going again. But there's several instances where the tires were spinning and I'm like, what is just, and it's, you know, when you get the truck up that high, you know, and the tires, here you go. It's a great example. The body wasn't caught yet. If you go back and you look at that scene, the body's caught now, but like I'm doing everything I can, like trying to reverse it, go forward, trying to get it. And there's just not enough weight in it. And so, you know, you wind up being like, all right, just going to have to gun it. The Traxxas really surprised me with how quick the brake engages. I should say it's a programmable ESC, not to the parameters that you can program some of the other ESCs that are out there with the percentage of braking, but there are different modes that are available for it. Typically like the sport mode, the crawler mode, things like that. I didn't even look. I just assumed because it's a crawler that they would have started you in crawler mode. For all I know, it might not be. I'd have to look into that, into the manual and see how you start off. But yeah, if you open up the manual and take a look, the ESC definitely has different modes that you can put this car through. So yeah, smoother power is something that I'm looking for. So I'm going to go with the Furatech. I got the Python Pro coming with the new Cedar motor that I'm going to run in one of these. I don't know which one. I mean, I'm looking at the regular TRX4m, and because it's low slung, thinking maybe that's the one I'll make the climber. And maybe I'll just make this one like a high trail, like truck in a little bit more scale. I don't know. We'll see. I got a lot of upgrades. Got a lot of brass. Got a lot of different shocks. Got lots of different things to play with. Flex blades. I'm trying to think of other things. But mostly, you know, I purchased things that were good for the weight of the vehicle and to make the vehicle stronger. So the metal axles, the metal axle housings, the longer spindles to get the tires, you know, outside a little bit, new tires, heavier wheels, all those kinds of things. I'm pretty confident that, you know, we're going to have a phenomenal crawler after the upgrades. But, even, you know, just taking these guys out is just always a blast. There's just something about it. I didn't want to do it, too. I didn't want to go down this rabbit hole. Believe it or not, when the TRX4m first hit the stores, I had one in my hand. I had a Defender in my hand. And I was like, nope, not going to do it because I have 10 SCX 24s. And I spent, you know, I can't even tell you how much money and time with those little screws. And I was like, no, not going to do the 1/18th. I'm back to 1/10th. and then they just pulled me back in. So this was another great example of the body and me going, come on, man, just like climb over that. But yeah, I had to change the angles. Look how close I legitimately have to get to be able to get up over this. And when I mean that, I mean like the side. Like I literally got to like get the side of the vehicle up to be able to start crawling, because that body comes out so far. So there's a lot to do, but it is such a beautiful truck. I look forward to doing it. This is John, Red Viking Hobbies. I hope I see you out there. Hey, don't forget to hit that like and that subscribe button.